Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans of 1973-76 Carryover League. Today we're in the American League East. We're in Fenway Park. We have a Game 6 of a best-of-7 series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. And what's turned out to be a very fun and competitive division that likes to play long into the night, folks. Like every series has gone 6 or 7 games amongst these teams. We'll just go to the standings. I'll cut to the chase just to show you what it's looking like here. Baltimore's lead in the East is just down to a half a game over the Red Sox. In a absolutely wide open, you play 571 ball, you could get the top seed in the American League, folks. It is just, remember we wrote off the Oakland A's earlier this year? They're tied for first, and they could still get the top seed in the American League. That's how wide open it is. You try doing that in the National League, forget about it. The Phillies are playing 700, Reds, Pirates, Giants, stumbled a bit against the Padres, but the Dodgers are there. It's like the senior circuit is all over the sport this year in the Carryover League. Anyway, let's just get to these games because they're fun games between two storied franchises. Game 1, yep, Fenway game. And look, the Red Sox, they almost have like a road field advantage. They play better outside their park than inside their park, but not today. Today, 16-5 destruction of the number 4 starter, Rorik Harrison, Eddie Watt, Tippy Martinez. They went through the whole bullpen. Baltimore was just eating up innings. And if you're Baltimore, it's not even a big deal. It's like Earl Weaver just sent in the white flag in the 4th inning. They have Jim Palmer going tomorrow, so they're not even going to need a bullpen. Louis Tiant went 6 innings to collect his win. Then he hustled out to the shower and had things to do. So he left. And that, 16-5. What do we have here? We have 3 hits for Fisk, 3 hits for Rice, 3 hits for Bill Sidakis, who's been a really nice addition to this team. Switch hitting slugger from the Texas Rangers. Okay, game 2. Mentioned Palmer. He'd be pitching. And he'd have to do battle with the Spaceman in Fenway. We have perfectos through 3.5 innings. Actually, it was 22 in a row by both pitchers combined until Griffin's single ruined that one, and Earl Williams' single ruined that one. Billy makes an error, and the Orioles get an unearned run, 1-zip. Bottom of the 5th, though, Palmer surrenders a double to Rice, a triple to Fisk, and an RBI single by Dewey Evans. 2-1, they add a run in the 8th. Bill Lee loads the bases in the 8th inning. They bring in Bobby Bolin, the closer, to the nervousness of Fenway faithful. But with the infield up, you get a 4-2-3 double play. I don't see a lot of those. A single in the 9th. Baltimore loses this one. Lee, 7 1/3, 3 hits, 1 unearned run. And Bobby Bolin, a 5-out save. How about that? Bolin, not bad. Red Sox win 2 straight at home at Fenway. Let's go to Baltimore. Game 3. Rick Wise, Mike Cuellar in this one. 2nd inning, the Orioles get some walks, some singles, a clutch 2-run single to Belanger, now batting 2nd because Belanger's in his best hitting card of the decade, a 270 average with walks. So he got promoted to the 2 spot as Baltimore's trying to figure out some offense. 3-0 game, you get a Bill Sidakis homer, 3-1 game. Orioles add a run in the bottom of the 7th. It gets interesting in the 9th as Dyer Miller and Grant Jackson try and close it out. An error by Dyer Miller, a double by Jim Rice, but a fly out, a ground out. Dewey Evans walks to load the bases, but Petrocelli pops out the first to end the game. Baltimore gets a win. Home teams won the first 3. Game 4. And in Game 4, it's going to be Louis Tiant on short rest versus Wayne Garland. And then this is probably the most exciting of the games. Red Sox get an RBI single by Cooper in the first. Leadoff homer Bobby Grich in the bottom half, 1-1. Baltimore in the third inning. You get a walk to Blair, a single, an RBI by Belanger, and a stolen base, and a Ken Singleton 2-run homer, 4-1 Baltimore. An error uncharacteristically by Burleson in the fifth leads to a 2-run double by Al Bunbury, who bats fifth because of a lofty batting average. They need some middle hits, middle of the lineup hitting. So Bunbury is put in the 5 spot to try and generate that. Kind of miscast, but it seems to be working. It's a 6-1 game, but the Red Sox aren't done. They chip away. In the 7th, single, 2-run double, Lynn. They get a sac fly in the 8th by Dwight Evans. It's 6-4 in the 9th. It's 6-5. Runners on the corners. Grant Jackson gets a Petrocelli to fly out, pop out the third to end the game. Baltimore wins 6-5. Red Sox extremely game for this one. And we're right back where we started from. Series tied 2 apiece. What's interesting, if you were watching the Yankee-Red Sox series a few weeks ago, that was the road field advantage. The Red Sox love going to the Bronx and beating down the Yankees. Unfortunately, the Yankees love going down to Fenway Park and beating up the Red Sox. Road team won all 7 games. Boston played 7-gamer against the Yankees. We know Boston likes to play baseball. They play, of course, the 75 World Series, 7 games versus Cincinnati Reds. This is all the earmarkings now where the home field gets some retaliation. Baltimore can't win at Fenway. Boston can't win in Baltimore. Boston can't win in Boston against the Yankees. The Yankees can't win in New York against Boston. Something's got to give on these trends. Game number 5, and this is a really fun game. We're back to Bill Lee versus Jim Palmer. Surely, Jim Palmer can't lose twice to the Spaceman. In this one, 4th inning, a double by Lynn, a 2-run homer, Jim Rice. Then bottom of the 6th inning, you get the Earl Weaver special. Grich, a double, Belanger a single, and Kenny Singleton with a 3-run homer. 3-2. Can Palmer hold on? He cannot, because in the 7th inning, an out, a single, an out, a single, with 2 on and 2 outs, Yastrzemski gets a triple. 2-out triple for Yaz, and a 3-2 lead turns to a 4-3 deficit. Bill Lee, he and Tiant usually asked, look, our bullpen's awful. You guys, you got to pitch as long as you can pitch. Well, the answer was Bill Lee retired the last 11 Orioles he faced and got a complete game. 4-3 road win, but in Baltimore for the Sox, who take a 3-2 series lead back to Fenway Park for a Game 6. If they win this game, they're at the All-Star break, a half game in first. If they lose the game, Baltimore will be at first of the All-Star break by either a game or a game and a half. Actually, by either, a game or a game and a half. Okay. Enough of that. Orioles, Red Sox, Game 6. Also, today, it's going to be a kooky one. Palmer, Cuellar, Garland, Tiant, Lee, Rick Wise have all pitched as much as they can thus far. We got the number 4 starters, and neither pitcher was with that team in that year. Rorik Harrison. He went to Atlanta in the Davey Johnson trade, but he holds here with Baltimore for an extra year. Had a brilliant 1972. He's the number 4 starter for the Orioles in 73, 11-8 with a 4.17 ERA. And the Red Sox have brought back Sonny Siebert. As he was getting long in tooth, he went to St. Louis. He later went to Texas. The Red Sox brought him back as a number 4 starter, starter 5. Expect fireworks in this one, folks, which would favor the Red Sox, as they lit up Rorik Harrison 16-5 the first time the teams met. Let's get started from Fenway. Both teams have retooled their lineups. Leading off for the Orioles is Bobby Grich. 58 flies left. Al Bumbry, 37's a walk. A Steeler, but you got Fisk behind the dish. -2 arm, he'll stay there for Singleton. 212 for Singleton is a 6-4-3 double play. Bottom of the first, Yastrzemski. 3-6 is a base hit. Carlton Fisk. 2-4 is a 5-4-3 double play. The pitcher's best friend. Fred Lynn, 39, walks. And Jim Rice, 5-10. Short X, Belanger, 1-14. Makes the play. Top of 2. It's Lee May, 2-4. Short. Bill Sharp, 1-3. Homer, 1-2, double the rest. It's a 2-base hit. Paul Blair, 6-10. Third X. Petrocelli is not starting today, as they wanted to get an extra lefty in here against Harrison. Sudakis is stuck at third as a 4-24. But he makes the play. Runner moves up. We got a runner at third, 2 outs for Johnny Edwards. 1-5 flies to right. Bottom of the second, it's Bill Sudakis, 3-12. Third. Cecil Cooper, 48, is a base hit. The Rooster Burleson, 39, is a 6-4-3 double play. This is the Boston Bugaboo. They get one of these games, you don't get your 16 runs, you're 16 runs shy of that, as the Red Sox have had some head-scratching slumps in their seasons here. Mark Belanger, 1-8, is a strikeout. Brooks Robinson, 57, is a K. Bobby Grich, 111, rolls a short. Bottom of the third. Rick Miller, 110's a base hit. B. Steeler. You stay out of the double play with a hit and run with Doug Griffin. Sure, let's try it. Runner moves up. B to B. No, don't have to attempt to steal. He just hits the ball, makes contact. Runner goes to second. 1 out. Yastrzemski. 1-5's a walk. First and second for Fisk. 68 is a walk. Harrison loads the bases. Oh boy. He got a quick hook in the game 2. So he gave up 4 runs, and they were convinced that bringing in Eddie Watt and Tippy Martinez could bail him out. That didn't work either. Those guys, all 3 of those dudes got lit up. Similar situation setting up. Bases loaded. Let's look at Fredlin before he swings away. Yes, 75, Rookie of the Year, MVP, 331, 21 dingers, 47 doubles, a 1 with a -3 arm. Maybe 79 might be the only other year that might be better than this, if there is such a thing. Somehow he didn't get the MVP in 79, but that's a story for a different day. Orioles will play it back. There are some double plays on the Lynn card. Here's the pitch to Freddie. 55 off Rourke. Oh, that is a walk in the 5 column on that template. That's horrible. This is not what Earl Weaver wants at all out of his number 4 starter. This was the hole in the Baltimore roster. They lost all their pitchers, got rated from their system. The Doyle Alexanders and the Mike Torreses and so forth and so on. They all were gone. And they had to go on the street and find a number 4 guy, and that's the guy they found, who, ironically, used to pitch for them. And now it could be troublesome. He's good against righties, so he'll face Jim Rice. 69 is single 1 of 15. It's a base hit, and Boston's got a 2-0 lead, and now you got trouble. You got lefty-lefty, and not a lot Baltimore can do. We don't hook our guys this early. Bill Sudakis, bases loaded, playing back. 48 off of Harrison is the base hit to left field, and Freddie Lynn will not run out of the inning. He'll stay at third. They're loaded. And playing back for Cooper, let's take a look at him. He could end the series right now with 1 swing. Cecil Cooper, 1975. Sometimes he gets lost in the mix here. How great he was with that 311 average. Again, just they had so many mouths to feed in Boston. He just couldn't play every day. Yaz was at first when he wasn't in the outfield. They had Rick Miller and Dwight Evans and Lynn and Rice. There's just too many corner first base DH types on Boston. for everybody to get enough playing time. Eventually, Milwaukee Brewers will step in and say, we'll take him. We'll take Cecil Cooper. But for now, the bases are loaded. Playing back. Rorik Harrison to Cooper. Here's the pitch. 3-7 is a fly ball to right. Be question mark. You can run Freddie Lynn now. He's a 15, 16, 17 against the Singleton arm. He's thrown out on a 20. Tremendous break for Baltimore. That was a gimme. Freddie must have stumbled a bit coming down the third base line. Inexplicably gunned down. Again, he's a 15, 16, 17, 18 for Singleton's arm. Rolls the 20. That's why you roll the dice, folks. It is not a sac fly. It's a 9-9-2 double play. And Baltimore is still in this game. 3-0 Red Sox. Into the fourth. It'll be Al Bunbury. 1-7, 1-1-19 gets it. Now, the Red Sox aren't beholden for Sonny Siebert to pitch enough innings to qualify for a win. Okay, we get that. Problem is, their bullpen's awful. So, it looks like it's going to just have to be a fireworks display today, folks. Runner at third, they'll play back. Ken Singleton. 4-4 center X, Freddie Lynn. You can get a fly ball 8 here on the oneness. And you get it. No sac fly on the oneness. Stuck at third, not wanting to take on that arm. Now you got cleanup hitter Lee May. 3-6, single 1 to 10. He gets it. It's a base hit. Run will score. It's 3-1. Setting up the double play for number 5 hitter Bill Sharp. 48's a walk for Siebert. He is a starter 5. He's not at the point of weakness in this inning. 2 on, 1 out. Paul Blair. 64. Catcher's X. Fisk, a 2E10 catcher. Gets a foul out. Runners do not advance. So you're stuck at first and second for number 7 hitter Johnny Edwards. 1-9, single 1 to 17 is a base hit. So that does not score a run. It's a single dot, and that Fisk not giving up a pass ball or wild pitch has just saved a run for the moment. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and it's Mark Belanger. Let's take a look at Mark before he swings, because this is the best card of this decade. I think he hit 287 in the late 60s on one of those, maybe the 69 Oriole team, perhaps. 270, was hitting 300 in early June of that season, which is incredible to think. Made it to the All-Star game hitting like 280 and finished hitting 270. Big moment here for the Orioles, trying to even up the series. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Mark Belanger. 112 is a hit by the pitch. Siebert hits him in the elbow. Leaned into that one, and it's 3-2. Bases still loaded for Brooks Robinson. Let's take a look at Brooksy before he swings. The way this game's going, you'll see everybody. Brooks Robinson, hey, his highest average of the 1970s, 288. The power is not there anymore, though. Just 7 home runs, but he gave him full-time power. Of course, the Gold Glove defense at third. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Brooks Robinson. 2-3 is a pop to first base. We got a 3-2 game. Rorik Harrison will continue. Against the righties at the bottom, at least. Rick Burleson. 66 is a K. That's a walk versus a lefty. Rick Miller. 1-9, that's base hit. Now, Griffin, he did a hit and run with no one out last time. I think with Harrison on the ropes, he'll just swing away. 1-8, and as soon as we do this, we get a 6-4-3 double play on the Griffin card. When you don't bunt or hit and run for Boston, it is including, we got to, that's a double play. So you got 4 double plays and 4 frames, as Boston's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of 18 men have reached. Unbelievable. In a 3-2 game, into the 5th, Sonny Siebert's breaking inning. Back up top for Baltimore, Bobby Grich. 49 is a walk. Now you got Al Bunbury. 1-7, same roll as before. Let's take a look at the Bunbury card. Your 1973 Rookie of the Year. Probably would have been leading off. We've had him bat third with the highest average on the team. But they need run production, so he's batted 5th a lot for this team. He's batted first, second, third, and fifth. They might have him back cleanup. That'd be probably a first of his career. 337 average in 400 plate appearances in 1973. Baltimore made the smart decision to keep Bunbury, let Rich Coggins go, as both guys did pretty similar stuff in 73. 1-7, triple 1-19, gets the triple, and the game's tied. Now, Boston could bring the infield up to prevent the runner from third from scoring, but I have a feeling that it's not really going to matter. There's going to be a lot more runs scored today, so they'll play it back. They don't want to give up the plus. So it'll be Ken Singleton. 56 doesn't matter. Triple 1-2 and single. Triple 1-2 off the Siebert card, and he gets it. This is a Fenway special. It kind of ricochets and goes cattywampus into the corner. And the Orioles take a lead. And Sonny Siebert's at the point of weakness. And it's time to get the bullpen phone going here. You got a lefty on deck. They're going to let Siebert pitch broken to Lee May as a righty-righty. And then they'll go to a lefty for Bill Sharp. So Lee May will swing away off the broken Siebert. 6-10, third X, but it's not Petrocelli, it's Sadakis, a 4-24 at third base. He makes the play, but it's a ground ball C. The runner scores. So Singleton scores on a weak ground ball to third base. The only play was at first, and Singleton runs and scores. That's an RBI. The bases are empty. It's 5-3 with one out. And Siebert will leave after 4 1/3 as to not create more damage. 4 1/3 innings. His day is closed at 5 runs allowed, nobody on the bases. And this is where the Red Sox struggle, getting into this bullpen. They're going to go to Chris Short in the 5th inning. Chris Short was a Brewer in 73. 3-5 with a 5.13 ERA in 72 innings. It's all they could find, folks. Lefties are hard to come by. Roger Moret is the lefty setup guy / closer who is better served to be a starting pitcher. But this is the Boston problem. And it's going to be a nice 13, 14 out problem. And Baltimore's now in the situation where they don't even need Rorik Harrison anymore. So Short comes in to face Bill Sharp with 1 out in the 5th inning. 63, Short X. This is Burleson. He's a 3.31. Makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Paul Blair. 35, grounds are short. So Rorik Harrison has a 2-run lead. He's not going to face Fred Lynn in this inning with a man on. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty. We'll let him pitch through to Fisk. Here it is, leading off, Carl Yastrzemski. 1-4, flies to right. Now to be Carlton Fisk. 46 is a K, and with 2 outs, with no one on base, you can let him pitch to Fred Lynn here. 6-10, catcher's X. And the catcher's Johnny Edwards, a 3.5. And he makes the play. 5 innings in the book. It's a 5-3 Baltimore lead. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
6th inning in Fenway. Chris Short, he's got some lefties coming up. Johnny Edwards will exit. And Earl Williams will take over catching duties for Baltimore. And Edwards came over from Houston in the Lee May deal. Earl Williams will step in the box. Here's the pitch to Earl Williams. 34 rolls to third. Number 8 hitter, Mark Belanger. 2-7 against lefty is a walk. Brooks, he likes to hit and run against righties. However, he actually has a nice batting average. We talked about it, 288. Heavily loaded against lefties, so he will swing away. Or does Boston go to a pitching change? Now, you want Short to face Bunbury at least. Get some use out of him. So Robinson will swing away. 2-7. That is a base hit because you have to hold Belanger at first. You have to roll the plus. And you got runners on the corners with 1 out for Bobby Grich. You play back or bring it up. You look at the ground ball B's on the Gritch card. There aren't any. They want to play back for a double play here for Bobby Gritch. Here's the pitch to Bobby. 1-8 is ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Al Bunbury. And Al will stay in the game. He's not leaving. I mean, he's not scared of Chris Short. Boston's between a rock and a hard place. They'll have Rick Wise in Game 7, who's a starter 6. Yeah, there's no better option to facing Bunbury. Okay, so they'll just play back and cross their fingers. Here's the pitch to Al Bunbury. 53, left X, out in left field today is Rice. He's a 3-1, and it's a fly ball A. It's a sac fly. All the runners tag up. It's 6-3. And with 2 outs and a base open, it's Singleton, and then Lee May. I think we'll go to the righty to face Lee May, but we'll face Singleton, who's better against righties. Here's the pitch to Singleton. 2-9 is single 1 to 18. He rolls a 3 that does score a run because everybody tagged up on the fly ball A. They were second and third. That's an RBI single. You got runners on the corners, and it's Lee May, and yeah, we're done with this guy now. Next, doctor. Next, nurse. Next patient, Ray Lamb. Ray Lamb's coming trotting out of the Boston bullpen. Ray was a Cleveland Indian in 73. 3-3 with a 4.60 ERA in 86 innings. Yeah, again, Boston. They drafted this incredible lineup. Really good top of the lineup pitching. Tion and Lee often throw complete games. Rick Wise is very, very good as a 3-starter. Everything else in this pitching staff's pretty lousy. So that is the dilemma the Red Sox face this year. Ray Lamb will face Lee May with 2 on and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 33 is a grounder to third. Now, bottom of the inning, I think Harrison will face the righty-only Jim Rice, and then we'll take our chances beyond that. Jim Rice. 2-6 is a strikeout. Well, I don't want Sudakas to face a lefty, so we'll pitch to him. 2-8 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Cooper. I think that's the point. It's 5 2/3. Earl's delighted for 5 2/3 out of this guy. He did give up the 3 runs. Helped mightily by the double plays. Incredible boon there for Baltimore. So Rorik Harrison leaves after 2 outs in the 6th inning. And they're going to go with Tippy Martinez. Very young Tippy will come in, and he was a Yankee in 75 with a 2.68 ERA in 37 innings. With a 4-run lead, he will face Cooper. This could get Cooper out of the lineup. Down 4 with a chance. You got righties on the bench. Still a lot of baseball left. Yeah, they're going to pull Cooper. They're going to go to a righty, Dillard. Take over the DH spot. Steve Dillard will be the actual player for Tippy Martinez here in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch to Steve Dillard, the pinch hitter. 66 is a K. Dillard actually hit 275, so he's okay to finish this game, lefty and righty. 7th inning. Ray Lamb will continue. It's Bill Sharp. 2-6, pops to second base. Paul Blair, 69, rolls a second. And Earl Williams, 35. Let's take a look at the Earl Williams card. Was always in the Earl Weaver doghouse. The trade for Davy Johnson, yeah, that wasn't a good one. But actually, Earl had a 20 home run season, and when you look closely at this card, you know, he's a -1 arm catcher with full-time power and 14 home runs. He may have been a head case for Earl Weaver, but as far as Strat-O-Matic goes, he's decent. 3-5, homer 118, and it's gone. It's 8-3 Baltimore. Now you got Belanger. 1-5, homer 1-3, double. Homer 1-3? He had 1 home run, and it is a double. Brooks Robinson. 48 is a base hit to right field. Who's in right? Miller with a -2 arm. Bellander's going to run. It's 16-18 back to 16. And he scores. It is 9-3. Why do I think the Red Sox are going to come back in this somehow? Make this interesting. Bobby Grich, 67 is a K. The inning is over in Fenway as Sonny Siebert, Chris Short, and Ray Lamb have sort of blew the Red Sox chance of first place of the All-Star break here, folks. Sadly to say. Tippy Martinez will continue into the bottom of the 7th for Baltimore. Before that, it is stretch time. Here in Fenway Park, we got the hometown band, the band out of Boston. We're talking, of course, as soon as this thing pops up, of Aerosmith. And we have the Rocks LP. There we go. 1976. I think Aerosmith's put 2 records out in the same year. Or they're really close together. My favorite one in their collection. They didn't have that one big hit that most Aerosmith albums have. The huge, 300 million airplay song. But it's got a bunch of great ones. Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Nobody's Fault, Licking a Promise, and a lousy ballad at the end, as they are known to do most of the time, or a lot of the time on their LPs. Anyway, with that, back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Tippy Martinez with a 6-run lead will continue to face through to Miller and Yaz, potentially Lynn. So here we go. Rick Burleson leads off. 2-3, rolls to third. Put that in the wrong spot. And now you have Rick Miller. You want to get an opportunity here. Let's put Dwight Evans batting for Rick Miller. Dwight Evans, 46 off of Tippy, is single 1-5. And he gets the single, though. He'll just take over in the outfield. Same position. Doug Griffin, 59 off Tippy is second X. This is how Baltimore erases everything. The one infield. 1-1-1 at second, third, and short. Grich is a 1-20. Your only shot is an error. And that's a 4-6-3 double play. 9-3 as we go to the 8th. Well, if we consider Moret and Bolin to be the best of the bunch, you may as well just let Ray Lamb get his work in so that these guys are available in a game 7, as Rick Wise is a starter 6, so he's going to need a little bit of help. Tiant and Lee are done in the series. They went 3-1. They didn't go 4-0, and that's why the Red Sox are in this situation. So top of the 8th, it'll be Al Bunbury. 2-5 flies to center. Ken Singleton, 56, strikes out. And Lee May, 2-5, grounds to short. Can Baltimore improve its defense a little bit? Dick Schrunk could come into the outfield. He will. As a 2 defensive player. 6-run lead. Do we need to see any more out of Tippy? He's a relief 3-starter 5, actually, in 75. Can't imagine him being a starter, but he was with the Yankees. He'll pitch through the Lynn. He'll be Yastrzemski leading off. 67's a K. Carlton Fisk, 1-8, short. And Fred Lynn. 1-2, a Lomax. And that will finish off a nice day for Tippy Martinez. 2 1/3 innings of relief. We go to the 9th, 9-3 game. And it'll be Bill Sharp leading off. 59, grounds a second. Paul Blair, 35, grounds a short. And Earl Williams, who homered last time, flies to left field. Bottom of the 9th. Baltimore will have Eddie Watt go back out there to close it out. Eddie was once the Baltimore closer. Now he's a long man with Dyer Miller and Grant Jackson closing games. But Eddie Watt was actually pretty nice in Baltimore in 73. Baltimore won 97 games in 73. They were the best team in the American League. Lost the LCS, and Oakland won the World Series. But the Orioles won 97 games. Eddie Watt in 73 at a 3.30 ERA in 71 innings, setting up Bob Reynolds and Grant Jackson, who had sub-2 ERAs. Plus, Baltimore's offense was flying. They had Baylor and Coggins and Blair and Gritch and all sorts of double-digit stolen base guys on that team. In a largely forgotten year in Baltimore history. So Eddie Watt will come on in the 9th. And he'll face Jim Rice. 68 pops to second. Bill Sadakis, 3-6, is a double. Steve Dillard in the Cooper spot. 4-4 off of Watt is a home run if you have power. Doesn't have it to single. That's fine. Keeps the game going. 9-4. Rick Burleson with a runner at first. 2-8. Here come the Red Sox. Burleson, a single ... You got runners in the corners, 1 out. Playing back for Dwight Evans. 3-5 is a walk, and the bases are loaded for Doug Griffin. With only Petrocelli on the bench, but again, it's a 9-4 game. And Griffin's pretty good against righties. So he will swing away, Doug Griffin. 49 off Eddie Watt is second X. Here's your ball game. You got to get the error on Gritch, and it's already set up. You don't get it. 20-20 second baseman Gritch. You get the GBA to end the game. And that's the 6th double play of the day. So Boston got all their double plays out of their system. You can't pitch or hit any worse than this. 6 double plays and just horrible middle of the game pitching. And yet they still had a chance to the 9th, and the series is tied 3 games apiece. My goodness. What did Ray Lamb went? 2 1/3. 3 1/3. There we go. And Eddie Watt pitched miserably in the 9th to finish the game. So Rourke Harrison does collect the win. Siebert gets the loss. It is a 9-4 win. So after the break, I'll give you the results of the Game 7. It'll be Mike Cuellar for Baltimore, Rick Wise for Boston. This is a game that Baltimore won when they met the first time. So stick around and see what happens. All right, folks, here's the box score of the game you just saw. Baltimore's 9-4 triumph in Game 6. Rourke Harrison, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs allowed, 4 walks, 4 Ks. That might be his first win and only one of the year. Siebert, really, 4 1/3. He put 10 men on base. But then the bullpen came in, inning and a third for short, put 4 on. Ray Lamb put 3 on. Everybody gave up runs. 9 runs in the middle spots there. Yeah, well, you saw it. That's Game 6. So what happens in Game 7 in Fenway? As the trend of home teams winning the games has ended the last 2 times out, it's Mike Cuellar versus Rick Wise, and only one team shows up, and it's Boston. Probably a little ticked off about what happened in Game 6. All the scoring starts in the 3rd inning. Petrocelli solo homer. By the way, he's had 3 home runs in the series, even though he's made the final out in 2 of the games. You get a 3-run homer. An RBI single, Jim Rice. 2-run homer, Bill Sadakis. 4-zip. Kenny Singleton hits a homer for Baltimore, 4-1. Steve Dillard against a lefty put in the leadoff spot. It's a really nice day. He walks, steals a base. He walks, he scores a run. He gets an RBI double. As a 4 second baseman, he didn't make an error on 2 chances, which is nice. So all in all, it was a nice day for a role player. Another Bill Sadakis 2-run homer. He's got a ton of those this year. He's really been a great addition to this Red Sox team. They pad their lead in the 8th inning. But Rick Wise was the story today for Boston. He went 8 innings, 7 hits, just that 1 home run to Singleton as Baltimore to forget to set the alarm clock. The Red Sox win the series and win this game 9-1. Boston loves playing baseball. I think they played the entire division series, all went 7 games against Toronto and the Yankees and the Orioles. Let's look at the stats. We'll hit the standings first at the All-Star break. So there you see 31 games for the Red Sox, just 3 short of the maximum number of games you can play at the break. Baltimore 1 game less than that, which actually has to be the difference in the standings, just a half a game. These teams will meet again in the first round of the postseason tournament to determine who's in first. It'll probably be up to 7. with Boston a half a game back, but owning the tiebreaker. That looks like a 7-game series. And then the Yankees and Blue Jays, a half game separating them. That'll probably be a 7-gamer. So very tight in the American League East. But we're going to look at some stats here of these two teams. I'll start with Baltimore. Hitting 237. It's always 230 something. I can't figure it out. I mean, we know they had a bad year hitting in 1972, but for whatever reason, regardless of the year you select the cards, this team just can't hit 270, 260 at all, ever, it seems. 3.73 ERA is a little bit high as well, but mostly it's been in some of absurd blowouts. Remember, they gave up 16 runs in Game 2. They gave up 9 runs in Game 7. So that makes your ERA balloon a little bit. Net runs, Baltimore 112, 117 given up. Again, the blowout losses are distorting the overall picture. What's pretty cool, though, is that 110 of those runs are earned. So only 7 unearned runs allowed in 30 games. That's how great the defense has been. You got Palmer and Cuellar, both 5-3, Garland 3-2. Nothing really stands out. Jackson's got 7 saves, but his ERA is over 3. Palmer's actually has 8 complete games and given up 25 runs in 77 innings. That's really good. You do have Ken Singleton leading the offense with 7 homers and 22 RBIs, but he's hitting about 260. And let's take a look at the Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox, they're only hitting 263. I expect more from them. Their ERA is 4.04. When you factor in the fact that you have to use the bullpen so much and a number 4 starter so much, that makes sense. So Tiant and the Spaceman have 6 complete games. They're 10-6. The rest of the team is 7-8. They really need one more guy. Rick Wise has been decent. He's 2-4. He pitched great in Game 7, but his ERA is over 5. If he can pitch to what his card suggests, that could be the edge the Red Sox need in the playoffs. But gosh, they really need another pitcher or two to get to and go to and win a World Series. They're just short pitching here. Bill Sadakis, welcome to Boston. 9 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's 20 for 68. A lot of guys with 20 RBI. Cooper's got 20, which is great considering it's a platoon. He's 25 for 66. 29 hits for Fred Lim, 118 at-bats. Petrocelli is 30 for 96. 8 homers, 21 RBIs. Wow, that might be enough to get him to an all-star game at his age. That'd be fantastic. 17-13, 17-14, the American League East. You know, it's hard to predict what's going to go on in the American League. And it would be rather exceptional if the American League were to take the World Series this year. Yeah, it's just, 4 games over 500, 4 over 500, Twins are 5 over 500. A's and Rangers still have to play for, in air quotes, who's in first in the American League West, as if that, matters a whole lot. Of course, we know the A's have all the potential to go to the World Series, and they started 2-8. So you see, they're getting hot when they need to, and all things considered, they're hardly in any danger of missing the playoffs unless they go back into a funk that they started the year with. So that's the story of the American League to this point. We just have the A's, Rangers, and then we have the Reds, who also were in the World Series a year ago against the A's, against the Cubs. And those 2 series to be played and broadcasted, and that'll take us to the All-Star break. Thanks for checking this out. But let's break up Boston before we check out. Got to give them their props. They won the series 4-3, closed the gap to a half game in the American League East. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time.